All right, good morning, everybody. Let's do questions 3 and questions 4 from what we did yesterday on the radicals. Okay, so if I want to solve for x here, if I have square root of 2x minus 15 equals square root of x plus 5, simply we could just square both sides, and this will eliminate the radicals, right? And now what do we have? Very easy, just 2x minus 15 is equal to x plus 5. Okay, everybody stop the video. You can do this by yourself, right? If you want to see how it's done, you do plus 15, plus 15. Or any, you could have done minus 2x, plus 15, plus 15, minus x, or minus 5. Any of them would have worked. So now you get 2x cancels equals x plus 20 minus x, x equals 20, right? But this isn't good enough. We have to show the check. So if we show the check, let's just put the check over here then. Check, right? So x equals 20. Everybody do it yourself. 2x minus 15 is equal to square root of x plus 5. That's the original problem here. 2 times 20 minus 15 is equal to square root of 20 plus 5. This is square root of 2 times 20 is 40 minus 15 is equal to square root of 25. This is square root of 40 minus 15 is 25. Square root of 25 equals square root of 25. 5 equals 5. Check. Okie dokie. All right, let's do the next one because the next one was much more complicated. Okay, this question here. What do we do? First move is you could do minus radical x plus 2 on both sides, or minus x minus 1, x plus 1 on, minus square root of x minus 1 on both sides. So this is minus square root of x minus 1. Okay. So now square root of x plus 2 is equal to 3 minus square root of x minus 1, right? And when you get to this, you have to square both sides. Now the left side is very easy because it just cancels, right? So you have x plus 2. But this is very not so easy. So here, let's do a little side note. 3 minus square root of x minus 1 squared. I saw some people do this. They said, Mr. G, it's equal to 9 minus x minus 1. They just got rid of the radical, but that's not true. You have to foil this. Like if I said 3 minus x squared, you have to do 3 minus x times 3 minus x. Right? You have to FOIL it. We're going to have to do the same thing for this one, okay? So this is going to be 3 minus radical x minus 1 squared, which is equal to 3 minus radical x minus 1 times 3 minus radical x minus 1. Okay? So here, let's do it nice and easy, right? 3 times 3 is 9. Okay? I'm going to show it with nice colors. Next one. I have to do 3 times negative radical x minus 1. So this is negative 3 radical x minus 1. Then what do? We got to do this one. We got to do negative radical x minus 1 times this 3, which is negative 3 radical x minus 1. And then what about the last one? Let's choose this color. It'll be here, negative times negative is positive, radical x minus 1 times radical x minus 1. You see, radical x minus 1 times radical x minus 1. You see, that's what we're doing here, but this is equal to what? This is equal to radical x minus 1 squared, right? Because we were multiplying the same thing times itself. But what happens here? Cancels. So this is just x minus 1. But then this from once we get this, we need to combine the terms. You see the 9 and the minus 1 becomes 8. And you see here, this is negative this is negative 3 radical x minus 1, negative 3 radical x minus 1, so this becomes negative 6 radical x minus 1 plus x, right? So this whole thing from here became this, all right? So now here we have 8 minus 6 radical x minus 1 plus x, okay? If you felt shaky on this, this was not easy to do. We didn't do many of these last year. But here, once we get to this point, right? Let's ignore this for now. Once we get to this point, how do we move forward? How do you solve for x? Your tactic will be isolate this radical, right? This radical is very annoying. What I want you to do is play with this until you get the radical by itself, okay? I want you to try and do this by yourself. Go. Right? And if you want to see how it's done, here, well, what I would do first is minus x, right? So then what do you get? You get 2 is equal to 8 minus 6 radical x minus 1. Then I would do minus 8, right? 2 minus 8 is negative 6 equals, this is 0, negative 6 radical x minus 1. From here, you can divide both sides by negative 6, and now you get this negative 6 divided by negative 6 is 1 equals, cancels, square root of x minus 1. Now you see, look, what did we accomplish? We got the radical by itself. What do we do? Square both sides. 1 squared is 1. 1 is equal to, this cancels, x minus 1. So now I do plus 1, plus 1, x equals 2. Alright? But now we got to check it. So let me get another piece of paper. So here, check. Radical x plus 2 plus radical x minus 1 equals 3. X equals 2, right? So let's plug this 2 into here. So square root of 2 plus 2 plus square root of 2 minus 1 equals 3, question mark, right? 2 plus 2, this is radical 4 plus radical 1. Does this equal 3? Question mark. And this is radical 4 is equal to 2 plus 1 equals 3. 3 equals 3. Okay. This was not an easy question. Don't give up. You are in pre-calculus. It's supposed to be difficult. Okay, I see you.